Discover the art of finding serenity and balance amidst the chaos of daily life by participating in our online yoga course. Sign up to experience the transformative benefits of yoga. The link is in the description.
So Sadhguru, what is a creative mind?
Oh, how big an answer do you want?
As big as you want it.
See, the English word mind doesn't say anything, because it's just one generic word which does not describe different dimensions of what the mind is. Mind is not just one something sitting here and doing something, okay? There is really no such thing as mind. In the yogic culture, there is no mind. There is a physical body, there is a mental body. Because what you're calling as mind right now is a certain combination of memory and intelligence. There is memory in your body, more memory in your body than you can imagine. If I have to get at you again, it's okay, I'm picking on you, okay? You definitely don't remember how your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother looked like, but her nose is sitting on your face right now. Yes? You don't remember a thing consciously, but your body remembers 100%. How 10 generations ago your grandmother was, your body still remembers. 1,000,000 years ago how your forefathers were, your body remembers, isn't it? It's not forgotten and it's not going to forget. Your mind is not capable of this kind of memory. Your body has 1,000,000,000,000 times more memory than your so-called brain. This whole shift towards the brain and intellectual process is a European malice. They gave too much significance to thought. This has happened because they lived under a subjugated society, religiously subjugated society, where you're not supposed to think anything except what's written in some book, otherwise you're dead. They lived like this for a long time. Because of this, when they got little freedom to think and manage to live, they started celebrating their thought too much. Let's understand the context of thought. You can only think from the data that you already have gathered. That means you can never think anything new. You can recycle it, you can rehash it, you can produce permutations and combinations of it, but you cannot think something absolutely new. It is not in the nature of the thought to come up with something new. It can only recycle the past. That means if you dedicate yourself to your thought process, if you enshrine your thought process, you're ensuring nothing new ever happens in your life. So thought need not be celebrated like this. That's why in this culture, thought has never been given so much significance. What you think is your psychological drama. We don't think much about that because it's your drama is important for you, somebody else's drama is important for them. Everybody thinks their drama is the most important drama in the universe. This is everybody's experience because they're so identified with their own psychological drama. This psychological drama should not determine the nature of your life, because this is just a small happening compared to the life process. Life is a much deeper intelligence than intellect. We can look at… the yogic system looks at the mind as 16 parts. Those 16 parts are further broken and they're taken up to 84,000 parts. But now if I talk about 84,000, already there's a segment which says no, so I will make it 4. I'm taking away 80, okay? I'm being fair to you. Only 4. 4 fundamental parts. One is the intellect, which we have in modern world, in today's world, we are unnecessarily giving too much significance to intellect and we will pay an enormous price for this. You will come to a place where you'll know everything, but you'll know nothing of life significance, really. Today you will see this happening to children. For the first time, this generation you see, 10, 11-year-old or 12-year-old children, they look bored. When you were 10, 11, you did not know what is boredom, it was not possible. It was too exciting to be alive and looking around. You will see 10, 12-year-old children all looking bored because they've seen the cosmos through their phone screen. They know it all. And especially in the Western countries, you will see this happening at 8, 10. They're really bored. You will see in the school buses, they're all sitting on… bored. Because by the time you're 12, you already had one love affair, you know what is a break, you know how to all this recover from that, you tasted alcohol, you've seen this, probably you've gone into all kinds of physical things, and you know the cosmos. What more? By the time you're 15, there's really no purpose for you to exist for many of them. You should not be surprised if this culture continues. I'm not saying this is a prediction, it is something that I see beginning to happen. In another 50 or 100 years' time, if 25 to 50% of the people commit suicide, you should not be surprised, because life needs some exuberance. If too much information happens to you without experience, that exuberance will be gone and a false sense of knowing becomes so strong in you. This is the danger of intellect, because intellect wants to dissect everything. Intellect is like a scalpel, the sharper it is, the better it is, it wants to dissect and know. Dissection works with some things, not with all aspects of life. If you want to know the poor frog, you remember? The poor frog that you crucified and cut, and great knowledge you acquired from all that torture is unbelievable. How much knowledge you know. For the torture that frog went through, how much knowledge you have acquired is quite unbelievable. All that you got to know. Now you got interest, suddenly you got interested, the mother that you had ignored, you want to know your mother today. Please get yourself a sharp knife, start the dissection. You may know everything about her liver, kidney, heart, but you won't have a mother left, that's all. So life cannot be known by breaking it up. You can know physical things by breaking it up. You cannot know life by breaking it into pieces. But this is the nature of the intellect. The whole modern science has evolved from human intellect. Because it's produced technological benefits, you can't argue against it, because people,
Yeah.
they think they're scientists, they know nothing about science. They're just enjoying their iPhone. They think they're scientists because they can do this. No, technology is fine, it's brought much comfort and convenience, but it will not bring life to us. So intellect is like this. Intellect will be useful only depending upon what it is identified with and what is held, what holds this, how steadily. So the next dimension of the mind, the first one is called as buddhi, which is the intellect, the second one is called as ahankara. Ahankara does not mean ego, this, that, it means the identity. Whatever you identified with, your intellect functions only around that. Simple, if you just identify with a nation, if you say, I'm an Indian, everything Indian looks beautiful. If you cross the border and you say you're something else, all that looks beautiful. So whatever you identified with, it's only with that the intellect functions. So ahankara is the identity. How consciously and how steadily your ahankara has been created will determine the effectiveness of your intellect. Just because it's sharp, it does not mean it'll be effective, because sharp intellect or a sharp knife can cause any amount of damage to you. If you have a sharp knife and you don't have a steady hand, you will cut yourself all over the place. That's all that's happening. Human suffering is just this. You don't know how to hold this intellect in your hand properly. Every day you're cutting yourself. All suffering is on self-help because your own mind causing this to you all the time. No matter what happens, people suffer, whichever way they suffer, because they don't know how to hold this intellect. If you had the mind of an earthworm, you would be quite peaceful. Yes? You're trying to do it in so many ways to reduce the sharpness of the intellect by drink, by drug, by overeating, by doing all kinds of things somehow to take away the sharpness because the damn thing hurts. It hurts not because that's its nature, It hurts because you do not know how to hold it. The next dimension of the mind is called as manas, which is a huge volume of memory. It is not here or there, entire body carries memory. So, manomaya kosha, this is called, a huge sack of memory. This memory is in various stacks, we'll not go into all these details considering some people have said a clear no. They don't want to have a mind, I'm sorry, they don't want to know anything about the mind. So the fourth dimension of the mind is called as chitta. Chitta means it's pure intelligence. It is unsullied by memory. It has no trace of any kind of memory, it's just pure intelligence. If you touch this, then you have access to what you're referring to as the source of creation, because all kinds of things might have been fed to you. God is this, God is love, God is compassion, God is kind, whatever. Somebody come, stand on the edge of this stage, say all the prayer you want to say and fall. Let me see whether compassion happens to you or a cracked bone happens to you. I would like to check, all right? All these things have been made up because whatever somebody is deprived of, they will attribute that quality to their idea of God. Your ideas of God have come only because you do not know how this whole creation happened. Because you don't have an answer, you made it up. Because you're a human being, you said a big human being is sitting up there. Oh, how can you do all this? If somebody asks, he has 10 hands, so he does lot of things, not like you. Whatever, it's all right for children. But essentially because you do not know how creation happened, you are coming up with explanations. So that which is the source of creation, don't believe what I say, what anybody says. Pay attention to one piece of creation. Just take a flower, pay attention to this, pay an attention to a leaf or an atom or an ant. All you will see is phenomenal intelligence beyond anything you can imagine, yes? But nobody told you God is intelligence. But this culture has said this to you in many ways. They told you Chidakasha, Chidambara and so many things to tell you if you touch your chit, the whole existence becomes yours. Everything that's worth knowing is right here because you have access to the source of creation. So these are the four dimensions of your mind. Unfortunately, the modern education thinks by just feeding information and keeping the intellect reasonably sharp, everything is going to happen. No. You will rip this planet apart looking for well-being. You may lose the planet, or you may manage to go to another planet and start your work again there. But well-being will not happen. If well-being has to happen, you have to dig a little deeper into this one, otherwise, no.
A man who's working with such intensity and commitment is not working for not producing result. The problem is, you heard what Krishna said through the words of a king's servant. Whatever you wish to do in your life, you have goals. Whether it's art, music, spirituality, politics, business, you think you will do anything significant. That's all he's saying.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna advises us to keep putting in effort without being attached to the results. But I find it incredibly hard to keep working and not obsess over the results. And I would love to know how we can better practice putting in effort while being detached to the results.
Well, I'm not in any way well studied about any scripture. It's unfortunate, but I have to say I have not even read the Gita. But we know the life of Krishna, that people think Krishna means butter, girls and flute. But you need to understand this. All these things happened only till he was 16 years of age. So after 16, he lived an extremely committed life. His commitment was to marry the political process of the day with the spiritual process, because he saw unless those who wield power are essentially in their experience have a larger sense of life and an inclusive sense of identity, not my family, my children, my husband, my wife, this stuff, you have a larger sense of identity, only then you must wield power. Otherwise, it will lead to corruption. People say, power is corruption. Power is not corruption. Limited identity is corruption. They believe they're doing the right things and they're doing the horrible things all the time because their identity is so small. So he was trying to change this. This was his whole life's mission. And always working for results. Hello? A man who's working with such intensity and commitment is not working for not producing results. Obviously, he's working for results. The problem is, you heard what Krishna said through the words of a king's servant. Nobody else told you. He only spoke to Arjuna. Arjuna never spoke. He lived for 36 years after that incident, but he never uttered one word what Krishna told him. Have you heard anywhere? He ruled as a king, but never once he said, Krishna told me this on the battlefield, not once. So everything that you have heard is only from Sanjaya, who was a king's servant. You must understand the quality of a king's servant, he's very reliable. See, if you… let's say, if your husband or wife or children, they saw something, they come and tell you, they will add a little bit of their own stuff and tell you. It is intrinsic to a human being. Their own opinions, ideas, other things will naturally get into what they're speaking. But a king's servant is trained never to add his opinion, otherwise his head will go. He will only interpret everything word by word as it was. So he's a kind of a ancient tape recorder, okay? He's recording and just telling the king, this is what he's saying. But there's no context. What is shared between two people where there's a very deep relationship, if two lovers are doing something, talking to each other, somebody else may think they're quarreling, but they're doing their love affair. So this is a love affair between Krishna and Arjuna because they know each other very intimately. So he's speaking a certain language. So as king's servant takes word by word without knowing the context or understanding what it is, the experiential dimension of what it is, and he's saying, so having said that, see, essentially it is just this, whatever you wish to do in your life, you have goals. What kind of goal will you set up? Right now you're in the university. What kind of goal will you set up? What you already know, you will exaggerate that a little bit and think it's a big goal in your life. Generally people call this an ambition, I call this a constipation. Because you're trying to handle life little by little, just like constipation. If you have a goal, your goal cannot be something absolutely new, it is only an exaggeration of what you already know, yes or no? Can you think of a goal that you simply don't know? How is it even possible? So, what he is saying is, there is a direction we have taken, but you have to be dedicated to the process, otherwise goal will just be hallucination. If you do one thing right now, just don't take this one breath, take the other breaths, let me see.
I can't do it.
That's all he's saying. He's saying without taking this step properly, you hallucinate about the goal, what is the point? In yoga, we say this very simply. We say if you have one eye on the goal, you have only one eye to find your way, it's inefficient, that's all. So he is just talking about in a battle, if you're inefficient, it is not that you won't get your increment or promotion, you just get dead. Hello? In a battle, if you're inefficient, you think you will just lose your marks or something? A grade you will lose, is that what it is? No, you will be buried that evening. So he is telling him, because Arjuna is talking about how to kill all these people and me become a king, he says, you will not become a king yet. You need to shoot this guy in front of you now, properly. Otherwise, you… not the king, you will be buried today evening. That's all he's trying to tell him. Is it wrong? So, every year in the month of November, we have a business event. So, 200 CEOs were there last year also, this November it's coming again. And they just look at how seamlessly Isha Foundation functions. Variety of activity, all volunteers. Volunteers means what? Nobody's trained for the job. They are super dedicated, but they're not trained for the job. And you can't fire them because they're volunteers. If you hire them, you can fire them. They're volunteers, how to fire them, you can't. So they looked at this and said, Sadhguru, we pick up the best from IITs and IIMs and all this stuff, but you're just doing with volunteers and your organization functions better than our companies, how is it? I said, see, all of you are dedicated to the goal. Here, I have continuously instilled in people that you're absolutely devoted to the process. Now what you're doing? You do this well. Most of them don't even know where I am taking them, all right? They're working for a certain project, they don't know what is the goal. I have something else, if I tell them right now, they'll freak because my goals are so far, they will give up. So right now, we have instilled this in them, you just absolutely involved in the process. Know the joy of involvement, first of all. Without absolute devotion to what you're doing right now, you will not do anything significant in your life. Whether it's art, music, spirituality, politics, business, take anything. Without being devoted to the process that you're doing right now, you think you will do anything significant? That's all he's saying.
See, especially if he is nasty creature, especially if it is so, this is your perception. But especially if somebody is a nasty creature in your home or in your office or wherever you are, you seeing something in a certain way is not about them, it's about you. Do you want to keep your eyes, your mind, your heart, your body pleasant or unpleasant? You make up your mind on that one. Now, if you look at him, I said even that nasty creature, please look at him, it's like me. I am not telling you that you have to listen to his teaching or take new practices from him. No, I'm saying, if you have looked at me with a certain sense of reverence, devotion, love, affection, whatever is your emotion, if you have, please see everything with that, because all I'm saying is, you have a body, you have a mind, you have emotion, energy. We're talking about your emotion right now. If you hit a certain level of sweetness of emotion at one point in your life, either because of your love or devotion or compassion or whatever, you hit a certain level of sweetness, this is the high point in your life. Now you should not come back from that, you must see how to go beyond that. I am saying whatever was the highest or the sweetest or the most wonderful emotion you had, make that the baseline, why are you coming back again? If you did not know such an emotion, then what would I tell you? Which is the sweetest emotion you had in your life? My child, okay, see everybody as your child. We've told you that at one time. Then I saw you sat here with tears of blissfulness and love coming out of you. Then I said, see everybody as you're looking at me right now. Because this will make your eyes, your mind, your heart, your body and your very being sweet and wonderful. This is not about him. Especially if he is being difficult, then you are being well trained. Even if you go to hell, you will do well. Yes. Because nobody has guaranteed you. Have I ever told you I will get you a ticket to heaven? I've been constantly threatening you, right here things will happen. So, you must understand this is about your transformation. The problem with you is, because you read… what are those? Well, I don't want to take names anyway. You read all those romantic books when you were a teenager and then you imagined all kinds of things. You are not first of all straight with yourself. Your hormones are working up. Suddenly you look at somebody, wow, can't believe she's so beautiful, she's so fantastic, he's so handsome, he's so wonderful, everything he does, You're bullshitting yourself. No. Whatever they do, you make yourself beautiful. Now even if they're doing nasty things, you are still wonderful. This is different. You know they're doing nasty things and you're still wonderful. This is fantastic. They are doing nasty things, but you think they're doing beautiful things. This is a stupid nonsense. I'll tell you. Somebody who was serving in Indian army had told me this story because we went through a similar situation somewhere else. So at that time he was narrating this. They were posted in the northeastern region where there's a certain amount of elephant population. So he is a battalion leader, he is heading about a group of 18 to 20 people, I think, they're marching in the forests. And they see a huge tusker, everybody backs off, all of them have weapons, okay, powerful weapons. This is an anti-insurgency group, that means they're fully armed and equipped. They can shoot down a tusker from 100 meters, 200 meters, whatever they want. But they all back off because that's not the reason why they are there. But he was telling me this because some situation happened like this with one South Indian person. So suddenly there was one Tamil man in the thing who was a sergeant, Havaldar. He put his weapons down and he said, "Ganapati has come, Ganesha, Ganesha." And he started chanting a mantra. He knew some Ganapati mantra, he started chanting. He ran in front and he went close to the elephant, just 50 feet away, and went down on his knees and started loudly saying the chant. The elephant looked at him, who is this bloody fool, you know? Calling him all kinds of names that he doesn't like. And these people were watching, this is some kind of a miracle happening, the elephant is just standing there and this guy is on his knees chanting. The elephant moved so quickly, within less than 2 seconds or within probably 5 seconds, he was upon him, he just crushed him, turned back and went. These people were just aghast and they're just watching him being crushed. Then some people pulled out the weapons. When the person whom I knew was in charge of it, he calmed them down because it's already dead. The man is dead in one shot. Why I'm saying this to you is, elephant will not do… wild elephant is not going to do pleasant things to you because you call him a god. You call him Ganapati and try to worship him, He is not going to do, he will do what he has to do. Similarly, the creature in your house, he will do what he has to do, whatever is his characteristic. It is just about you I am talking. You're always thinking of life as a relationship. No, I want you to understand, before you were born or even when you were being born, you did not have a relationship even with your mother. This is going to be very unpopular, people are going to pick on me, but please look at it. You don't have a relationship. You just have an existence. Relationship happened because of your needs. You saw her as your food, you went for her. You saw her as the basis of your survival. You recognize that quickly, you know. The moment a child is born, hand her over to another man or another woman and let them take care of all the child's needs. Child will immediately go to them. This whole idea that you think it's coming to you because you are the mother and you delivered, no. It is because of the needs you form relationships. Otherwise, there is just existence. This existence can either become conscious and live in a phenomenal presence, become available to it, or just do or go on doing the circus. Initially, your mother was everything, she was the most fantastic creature, and then you grew up, you became an adolescent, you saw a boy, he was the most fantastic man in the world, then your mother came in between, suddenly you started hating her. Hello? Then the man came, he was most beautiful, then he became a nasty creature, or so you thought. Now you think he is the worst human being. This goes on. I want you to understand, you're making up both beauty and nasty. I am not asking you to make up. I am not asking you to think whatever this person is doing is fantastic. That's a stupid way to exist. It's just that if you see everything, whatever is the peak experience you've had, make that the baseline. This is growth. You played the snake and the ladder game? Swing, swing, shk. You played that game? Snake and the ladder game. So when you play this game, your intent is, once you climb a ladder, you don't want to come back. You don't want to hit a snake, you want to find another ladder, go up, that's a natural expression of life. So once you know a certain level of sweetness within you, don't bring it down, that should be the basis. The next thing should be better and better. So when I said, right now you are sitting here with tears of ecstasy and love like this with me, then I said, let this be the basis, don't go down from this. See everything as this, at least let this much happen. If this is continuously happening, constantly happening, then of course you will hit another ladder. Just a little bit of time. Don't come down, that's all I said. And please don't describe him as a nasty creature. Poor man. This happened. I think I told you, maybe one of these days only I told you, I don't remember, but let me repeat this. Shankaran Pillai thought his wife is having an affair, hired a detective, I'm saying it loudly because just to remind you. Said, I want proof against her. So detective just waited outside the house, she left the house, he followed her, then she went to parked near the park, went inside. A man was sitting on the bench, the moment he saw her, he came running, she went running, they hugged, each other held hands and sat down on the bench and chatting away joyfully, laughing. He took the whole video and within a few hours he came to Shankaran Pillai in his office and said, I got all the proof that you wanted just in one day. I did my job, I have the proof, here, watch the video. Shankaran Pillai started watching the video and said, no, I can't believe this, no, this can't be, I can't believe this, no, I can't believe this. I said, what you can't believe? It's a video, it's not doctored, it's just a video that I took just now. He said, that's not the point, fool, I can't believe she's so much fun. So, after 15 days is over, when the man goes away somewhere, then you will see how much fun he was. Don't do this to yourself
Once happened. Gautama, the Buddha, you heard of him? Everybody heard of Gautama? So, Buddha is not his name is Gautama Siddhartha. He became a Buddha. So he is now the only Buddha in the world. There have been thousands of them and there still are. So Gautama was sitting in a large congregation of people one morning, an early morning, earlier than this, okay? A man arrived and stood there in the shadows. This man is a great devotee. He is a devotee of Rama. You heard of Rama? Not Rami, Rama. Rama is one of the most popular deities in India. If you do not already know this, in India we have 36 million gods and goddesses. It's a very rich country. So, he is a great devotee of Rama. The devotees in India, not now and not everybody, but those who take this seriously, they will not utter any other word than the name of God that they believe in. So if they want you to come, they'll say Ram Ram. If they want you to go, Ram Ram. If they want something, Ram Ram. No other word but Ram. Their clothes are all printed Ram Ram, they utter only Ram Ram, they live Ram Ram. They devoted their whole life to God. You are smart, you are not like that. You kept God like insurance. Just in case something goes wrong, I have also paid my premium. Everything that you need to do, you do it yourself. You kept God like insurance. You're smart. But this man invested his whole life in God, total. Age is passing away, little doubt has come. Are there people here who don't believe in God? Nobody? No leftists? No? Only one? Okay. What's your name? John. Only John? Nobody else? So, little doubt has come. He knows there is God. Just a little doubt. Suppose there is no God. I'm wasting my whole life doing Ram, Ram, Ram. See, this doubt will come to you only if you invest your whole life. You invest just 10 minutes in a week, then you will not get this doubt, it's all right, what's the problem? If you invest your life completely into God, then within 3 days doubt will come. Am I wasting my life just doing this? And there are other people who don't believe. See, look at this John, he doesn't believe. For him also sun comes up in the morning, for him also flowers blossom, from him also life happens. Looks like he's having a better time than me. It's a little doubt, he knows there is God, just a little doubt. Now there is an enlightened being here, he wants to confirm. But after being a well-known devotee for a long time, because he did not just go to the temple, he built many temples. At this stage in his life, how to ask whether there is God or not now? So he came early morning, stood in the shadows there and asked this inevitable question, is there God? Gautama looked at the man and gave a clear, emphatic no. Here this large congregation of disciples, this has always been a struggle in their mind, is there God or no God, is there God or no God? Oof, one big relief. Whenever they ask such a question to Gautama, he just becomes silent, he doesn't say anything. For the first time he gave a clear answer, no God. Joy spread across the congregation. Just the struggle, is there God or no God, is over. The enlightened one has declared there is no God. The message spread across the town. Through the day, celebrations happened because just imagine the freedom of it. No God means nobody sitting up there keeping accounts of what you did and what you did not do to punish you, burn you in hell or do this or that. Life is completely yours. So through the day, celebrations happened. Everybody is in great joy. The evening, once again the congregation is sitting, another man came. He also standing in the shadows. This man is a Charvaka. Charvaka means, in India, there are groups of people who are known as Charvakas. These Charvakas are out and out materialists. They don't believe anything other than what they can see. Probably this is the only culture that allows this. You will see actively missionaries of God going from village to village spreading their God message, and missionaries of no God going from village to village, arguing with people and proving to them how there is no God. Probably this is the only culture that allows that. Anywhere else they would be killed. So if you want, you can spread God, or if you want, you can spread no God. This is true democracy, you know. This has been there like this for thousands of years. People come and set up arguments in the village and they prove to you how there is no God. So this is an expert Charvaka. Whatever kind of believer you are, if you talk to him for 10 minutes, he'll prove to you no God. For thousands of people, he's proved no God, no God, no God. Age is passing. Little doubt is gone. Suppose there is God. When I go there, will he leave me? And all these believers say that he's got all kinds of torture equipment up there. So because I went about proving to everybody that he doesn't exist, he may torture me much more. He knows there is no God. He's proved to thousands of people there is no God. Just a little doubt. Now there's an enlightened being here. He wants to confirm. So he appeared there in the evening. And he asked the same inevitable question, is there God? Gautama looked at the man and said, yes. Once again turmoil started. Morning he said, no God, they were all really happy. In the evening he says, there is God. What's the game Gautama is trying to play? See, if you believe there is God, or if you believe there is no God, you're in the same boat. You believe something that you do not know. I believe this, you believe that. Doesn't make any difference. You can believe whatever you want. Yes, everybody can believe whatever they want. It need not have anything to do with reality as such. If you see, I do not know, the longing to know will arise with it. If the longing arises, the seeking arises. If the seeking arises, the possibility of knowing exists.
Be a multiplier of love and knowledge. Share this video with those you love, and together, let's spread light throughout the world.
A dance of steel, a test of wills. In every blow, our hero's fire. As blood meets stone, the earth stands still. And on the hammer fell from heights, a force of doom and boundless hate. But Fingolfin, swift as a striking hawk, evaded death, defied his fate. His silver mail and crystal shield, they glimmered bright against the dark. Like a lone star's defiant light, a guide through shadows cold and stark. With every swing of Ringill's blade, the giant trembled, strength unmade. By a king who dared to stand alone, who knew the weight of choices made. 7 wounds he dealt that night, 7 cries rang out in pain. As Angband's host looked on in fright, they fell to earth like sudden rain. The ground a blackened skies, they clash in fire. A dance of steel, a test of wills. In every blow, a hero's pyre. As blood meets stone, the earth stands still. The ground gave way to pits of grief. Beneath Morgoth's iron tread, yet still the elven king arose. Though wounds ran black, his courage bled. With one last cry, he swung his blade and healed the dark lord's wicked heel. The blood poured forth a burning shade, unlocked no time to leave.